What improved your life so much, you wished you did sooner? Got a bidet toilet attachment? There's nothing like having a clean ass all the time. It also ruins your life, because you can never poop anywhere else but home. Riding my bike at least an hour a day. Seriously. If you haven't ridden a bike in a while, it's just fun. Trying to be more positive in general. This is such a big one. Being negative is a bad habit like any other, easy to fall into, hard to break. People, including me, at one time, somehow think it makes them seem smarter, or deeper, or insulates them from disappointment. But it just makes you drag to be around. Being a cynic isn't sophisticated. Got a proper diagnosis. I think a lot of people that for years questioned themselves what's wrong with me, when they finally got diagnosed it's a big relief and changes a lot in a better way. Just packed up and moved thousands of miles away. Left everything behind and just started over. Besides some debt, a suitcase, and contacts for only the non-toxic people in my life, it's been an extremely liberating experience. And looking back, nothing was really preventing me from doing it sooner. No real reasons at least. I just kept coming up with excuses not to do it until one day I couldn't think of one. I did fencing in college and after that I just couldn't make it work with my school and work schedule. 15 years later, I found a club and started doing it again. I hate every other sport, and exercising just to exercise is unpleasant and boring. This is the only one for me, and I needed something to make me active. Finding a good local club and your weapon of choice is so hard though. Finding the right therapist. Been in since I was 9, and found the right one at 23. It's only been maybe 6 months, but I've already unpacked so much more trauma in that small time than I did all the other years wasted in therapy. Moving out of my home country. North Korea massive repping up in here. Getting divorced. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Setting rules for myself. After COVID started, I spent a year drinking and eating pizza every other day, and at that time I thought why shouldn't I keep doing it if I enjoy it? You can die in a time, so you should make the most out of what little time you have, right? The problem being, apart from health consequences, that it quickly becomes not enjoyable, and I realize now how miserable I was during that time. Most things are only fun when you do them occasionally. Sounds obvious I know, but it was not obvious for my dumbus. Now I have set rules for myself, that I can only drink on Sundays and only eat junk food once a month, and it's so much more rewarding and fun. I begrudgingly started lifting weights when I was 30 due to some back pain that caused me to barely be able to get out of my office chair. I forced myself to go for a few weeks. Then I started looking forward to going to the gym. Then after a while I became a total gym rat meathead. I wish I had started lifting when I was a teenager. Not only did it cure my back pain, but I lost weight, look and feel much better, and the doctor says all my health indicators are spot on now as I'm in my 40s, and in addition it's like a hobby for me now that I tinker with and socialize with other people who are into the same thing, etc. Meeting my wife. That woman fills my heart in ways words can't describe. It just can't be too much sooner, because then I wouldn't have my awesome stepsons. Stop going to church. Not going to church is such a big part of my life now. I wish I had not gone sooner. Learning how to do everything myself. Car issue. Look it up. Fix my fence. Just do it all myself. Replace valves. Look it up. If they don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Playing Minecraft. I'm a fully grown adult that used to think it was really stupid. But then my friend set up a server, and now we all play together. It's a wonderful creative outlet that isn't anywhere near as stressful as some games can be. Stop adding sugar to my coffee. Hiring a cleaner. I grew up in a house where money was tight. Whenever we heard people talking about their maid or housekeeper, we always assumed they were super rich. I'm not rich. Very much middle class. But my wife and I both work full time and have a lot on our plates. We found a local person who has a small cleaning business. We keep up with day-to-day cleaning, dishes, laundry, immediate spills and messes, wiping things down, etc. Then once a month, a cleaner does a pass, focusing on dusting, deeper clean of the floors, bathrooms, etc. It's about the same cost as a date night, and it does so much to help us stay on top of things. Learn Spanish. Now I have a lot of amazing Latino friends, and I got a lot of great gigs and opportunities because of it. Working out and deleting most social media like Twitter, yoga. When I stopped worrying about things I could not control. Completely eliminated my general anxiety. Still can't speak in public, but a catastrophic climate disaster? Sometimes it be like that. Left my abusive relationship of 14 years. Cut toxic people out of my life. Getting good earplugs for sleeping. Word to the wise on this. Change them out, or clean them fairly frequently. I used to use earplug every night. I never thought about how dirty they get. I ended up giving myself an ear infection, and now I have tinnitus. Sound. So bad I sorta want to die. And it never really goes away. Got the fuck away from that fentanyl. Ritalin. Swap TV in the evenings for reading. I've read 19 books since March and my mental health has improved drastically since then. Not sure if it's because of the reading, but it's the biggest change I made. Understanding that, just because they're your parents, doesn't mean they get a mandatory place in your life. Although it's not what I wanted, walking away was the best thing for my mental health. Now that my father has passed, I seldom think of my mother and brother. Using a cup instead of tampons and pads. I got really heavy periods since I started, and it was always a pain for me to deal with just how often I had to change them, and how much I had to use. I could have a super tampon, night pad and toilet paper and still bleed through them all in a few hours. Got a cup, and while annoying to use, it gets so much more blood than the others, and I don't have to worry about TSS as much. Also sleeping soundly for more than 8 hours a night was a blessing for me. Working out almost every day, even if it's only for an hour. Smiling at my reflection every time I look in the bathroom or bedroom mirror. Only for an hour. Only. Stop drinking and doing so much drugs. I was a terrible alcoholic with first signs of cirrhosis and puking and losing enough blood to need a transfusion. So kind of a wake up call that still took years to actually stop altogether. Getting a dog. Accepting adversity as a part of any process. We may get too overwhelmed from time to time when adversity hits, but if you take a peek at the future, it all starts to feel smaller and make more sense. Sobriety. 5 years. Hiring a sleep coach to help figure out why my kids wouldn't sleep. She didn't suggest anything radical, just a bunch of little changes. But she held us accountable several times a day for 2 weeks through a shared spreadsheet, and the improvement was incredible. Kids slept way longer, were happier, and better behaved. Spouse and I gained hours together in the evenings, had a way calmer home, and also got to sleep more. We hesitated for months because of sticker shock, but it ended up being a huge investment in our quality of life. LASIK eye surgery. Waited years to get it and kicked myself. Went from thick glasses to 20/15 and still have it many years later. Got my back fixed after 10 years of avoiding it. L5/S1 spinal fusion.